The vast darkness of space held its breath as the alien ships materialized near Earth's orbital zone. Massive crystalline vessels, each the size of a small city, hung motionless against the backdrop of stars. Their design was unlike anything humans had ever imagined, angular, sharp, with surfaces that seemed to shimmer and shift like liquid metal. Captain Kim Daewon sat in the Global Defense Command Center, his weathered hands gripping the edge of the holographic display. Around him, a team of international experts watched in tense silence. Young technicians from Seoul, New York, Lagos, and Moscow worked side by side, their fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. The first transmission came unexpectedly. Not a roar of conquest, but a cold, bureaucratic message that felt almost insulting in its calm precision. Park Gina, the lead communication specialist, began decoding the alien language with remarkable speed. Her eyes narrowed as the translation became clear. Territorial claim proceeding, the message read. Human population to be relocated. Resistance is inefficient. Daewon chuckled, a sound that surprised even himself. The aliens believed humanity would simply comply. They had studied Earth's technological capabilities from a distance, analyzing satellite transmissions and digital communications. But data points and satellite scans could never capture the true spirit of human determination. In Beijing, Shanghai, and Tokyo, military installations hummed with unexpected activity. In Silicon Valley and Bangalore, research centers that had been working on theoretical quantum technologies suddenly found their most radical ideas becoming practical solutions. The global network of human intelligence began to move with a synchronization that would shock the incoming alien force. Lee Hyuk, a brilliant systems engineer, had been preparing for this moment his entire career. His team had developed adaptive communication algorithms that could potentially interface with any unknown technological system. What the aliens saw as a primitive planet, Hyuk saw as a complex, interconnected organism ready to defend itself. Alien ships began their descent, their massive forms blocking out sections of the sky. Traditional radar systems would have been useless, but the new quantum detection networks tracked every microscopic movement. Each ship's approach was being analyzed, mapped, and prepared for in real time. In the Global Defense Command Center, no one spoke. They watched. They waited. The aliens believed they were conducting a standard colonial acquisition. They had no concept of what was about to happen. Gina's voice broke the silence. "They're scanning our communication networks," she said, her tone clinical and calm. "They think they understand us." Daewon smiled, a dangerous smile that suggested the aliens had made a fundamental mistake. The first wave of alien ships entered Earth's lower atmosphere. Their technology was advanced, their weapons systems beyond anything human engineers had previously conceived. But they had made one critical error. They believed technology alone could conquer a species. They did not understand human adaptability. They did not comprehend human resilience. As the crystalline vessels descended, thousands of interconnected systems began to activate. Not just military networks, but civilian communication grids, research platforms, and global technological infrastructures. What looked like a simple planet was actually a complex, living technological organism. The aliens were about to learn a painful lesson about underestimating humanity. Daewon looked at his team. Young faces from every corner of the globe united by a single purpose. Their eyes reflected determination, intelligence, and something the alien invaders could never understand: an unbreakable spirit of collective survival. "Prepare defensive protocols," he said quietly, "but also prepare our response." The first contact was about to become something entirely unexpected, not a moment of surrender, but the beginning of humanity's most important battle. The universe was watching, and humanity was ready. The first alien missiles streaked across the sky, their advanced guidance systems cutting through the atmosphere with impossible precision. Most military experts would have expected total devastation, but Earth was not most planets. Within seconds of the initial attack, something unexpected happened. The missiles began to wobble. Their perfect trajectories started to curve and twist, like drunk birds losing their way. Global defense systems, which had been quietly preparing for years, were now fully operational. Lee Hyuk's adaptive algorithm worked its magic. Each incoming missile encountered a complex web of electromagnetic signals that confused its navigation. Signals bounced, redirected, and scrambled the alien weapon's understanding of its target. What should have been a devastating first strike became a spectacular failure. In the Global Command Center, Captain Kim Daewon watched the holographic displays with a calm expression. Around him, technicians from different nations worked with a synchronized precision that would have been impossible just a decade earlier. Young engineers from Brazil, India, and South Korea manipulated quantum interfaces, their fingers moving faster than the alien technology could track. Park Gina. Park, the communications specialist, was doing something remarkable. She wasn't just defending, she was learning. Every alien signal, every transmission was being decoded, analyzed, and understood in real time. What the aliens saw as a simple attack, she saw as a complex language of technological communication. The first wave of alien ships began their descent. Their massive crystalline structures blocked out sections of the sky, casting enormous shadows across cities and landscapes. Military bases around the world activated systems that had been secretly developed over decades. These were not the traditional defenses of the past. These were adaptive, intelligent networks that could think and respond faster than any human commander. Satellite networks transformed. Communication grids became weapon platforms. Every connected device, from smartphones to industrial computers, became a potential point of defense. The aliens had studied Earth's technology from a distance, but they had never understood its true potential for adaptation. In the first hour of the attack, something extraordinary happened. The alien missiles began to turn back on their own launchers. Their advanced guidance systems were being reprogrammed mid-flight, transforming from weapons of destruction into confused, spinning projectiles. "They don't understand us," Daewon muttered to Gina. "They think technology is just about hardware, but for humans, technology is alive." Across different continents, military and civilian networks began to work as a single intelligent organism. A missile targeting a research center in California would be redirected by a network of computers in Tokyo. A weapon aimed at a military base in Germany would have its course altered by quantum communication networks in South Africa. The aliens had expected a quick, efficient conquest. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that was more like a living, breathing technological ecosystem than a traditional military force. Young soldiers watched in amazement as their defensive systems did things that seemed impossible. Missiles that should have destroyed entire cities were redirected into empty oceans. Invasion ships found themselves caught in electromagnetic fields that rendered their advanced weapons useless. By the end of the first day, the alien invasion force had lost over 60% of its initial strike capacity, not through traditional warfare, but through a form of technological judo that used the invaders' own advanced systems against them. Park Gina continued her work, her fingers moving across quantum interfaces. She was no longer just defending, she was learning the language of an alien technological system. Each transmission, each failed missile launch was another piece of information being decoded and understood. Captain Daewon looked at the holographic displays. The invasion that was supposed to last weeks was falling apart within hours. Humanity had done something unprecedented. They had turned a potential extinction-level event into a demonstration of technological resilience. The universe was watching, and humanity was sending a clear message. We are not just another potential colony. We are something entirely different. The initial confrontation was over, and it was clear that the real war was just beginning. The captured alien technology arrived in secure research facilities across the globe. What looked like impossible machines to most seemed like fascinating puzzles to humanity's brightest minds. Universities, military laboratories, and independent research centers began working with unprecedented collaboration. Dr. Park Gina stood in a sterile white laboratory, examining a small crystalline component from an alien communication device. Her team consisted of young researchers from different continents, a brilliant group that represented humanity's collective intelligence. Within hours of initial examination, they started understanding complex quantum communication principles that would have taken traditional scientists decades to comprehend. Universities in Tokyo, Cambridge, and Silicon Valley began sharing research in real time. What was once a competitive academic environment transformed into a global problem-solving network. Researchers worked in shifts, their combined intelligence attacking the alien technology from every possible angle. Lee Hyuk's team in Seoul was making breakthrough after breakthrough. They discovered that the alien technology used quantum entanglement principles far more advanced than human understanding. But instead of being discouraged, they saw it as a challenge. Within weeks, they developed prototype communication systems that could potentially surpass the alien technology. Military research centers began integrating these new technologies into defensive systems. Tanks that could change their electromagnetic signature in milliseconds. Aircraft that could predict and avoid weapon systems before they were even launched. Defensive networks that could think and adapt faster than any human commander. The aliens had made a critical mistake. By bringing their advanced technology to Earth, they had provided humanity with the ultimate learning opportunity. Each captured device became a key to understanding technologies that were centuries beyond current human capabilities. Young engineers worked with an excitement that was almost infectious. They weren't just studying alien technology. They were reimagining what was possible. Computer systems that could predict complex mathematical problems in nanoseconds. Communication networks that could transmit information across impossible distances. In a research facility in Brazil, a team discovered how the alien shields worked. They found a way to not just replicate the technology, but to improve upon it. What the aliens saw as their most advanced defensive system, humans saw as a starting point for innovation. Captain Kim Dae-won watched these developments with a sense of pride. The military strategists who had once relied on traditional warfare were now working alongside quantum physicists and computer engineers. The line between military and scientific research had completely disappeared. Global technological infrastructure began to change. Satellite networks became more than communication platforms. They became adaptive, intelligent systems that could respond to threats in milliseconds. Every smartphone, every connected device became a potential point of defense and intelligence gathering. The transformation wasn't just technological, it was cultural. Countries that had been historical rivals now worked together with a single purpose. Research centers in China collaborated with teams in the United States. Indian engineers worked alongside Russian researchers. The alien invasion had done something no diplomatic effort had ever achieved. It had united humanity. Within 3 months, humanity had not just caught up with alien technology, they were beginning to surpass it. The quantum communication systems, developed by Lee Hyuk's team, could transmit information in ways the aliens had never imagined possible. Defensive networks could predict and neutralize threats before they even emerged. Dr. Park Jina looked at the alien communication device on her laboratory table. What had once seemed like an impossible piece of technology was now becoming a blueprint for human innovation. She understood something fundamental. Technology was not just about hardware, but about imagination. The aliens had come to Earth expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they had unleashed humanity's most powerful weapon, its ability to learn, adapt, and transform. The technological revolution was just beginning, and the universe was about to witness something unprecedented, a species that could turn an invasion into an opportunity for growth. Humanity was no longer just defending. They were preparing to take the fight to the stars. The counteroffensive began quietly, almost invisibly. Humanity's first strikes were not with missiles or traditional weapons, but with lines of code and quantum signals that penetrated the alien communication networks. Captain Kim Dae-won watched as teams of young cyber warriors worked with unprecedented precision. Their fingers moved across quantum interfaces, breaking through alien communication systems like they were made of paper. What the aliens considered unbreakable humans saw as a complex puzzle waiting to be solved. Lee Hyuk's team had developed something remarkable, a digital weapon that could infiltrate and manipulate alien technological systems from within. Each alien ship became a potential target, its most advanced systems turning against their own creators. Communication networks that once seemed impenetrable began to crumble under human ingenuity. The first major strike came against the alien command centers. Their most secure communication channel suddenly became open books. Strategic plans, invasion routes, technological vulnerabilities. Everything was exposed. The aliens discovered something terrifying. Humans could read their thoughts before they even acted. In orbital spaces, human-modified satellites began targeting alien ships with unprecedented accuracy. These were not traditional weapons, but sophisticated technological attacks that could disable entire fleet systems in milliseconds. Each alien vessel found itself fighting against an enemy that understood its technology better than its own creators. Park Gina led the communication warfare division. Her team developed quantum encryption methods that made human communication networks invisible to alien scanning technologies. They could communicate, plan, and coordinate in ways the aliens could never intercept or understand. The counteroffensive wasn't just technological, it was psychological. Humans began broadcasting messages into alien communication networks that confused and destabilized their military structure. Strategic misinformation, complex psychological warfare tactics that played on the aliens' technological assumptions. Military bases around the world transformed. What looked like traditional defense centers became advanced technological warfare platforms. Soldiers were no longer just fighters. They were technological specialists who could adapt and respond faster than any alien system. Young engineers from different continents worked in synchronized teams. A defensive strategy developed in a research center in India could be implemented by a military unit in Brazil within minutes. The global human network had become a single, intelligent fighting organism. The aliens discovered something they had never anticipated. Humanity didn't just fight. They transformed warfare into an art of technological adaptation. Every alien attack was met with a response that was impossible to predict or counter. Massive alien ships found themselves drifting helplessly in space. Their most advanced systems turned into useless metal. Communication networks collapsed. Navigation systems became unreliable. The invaders who had come expecting an easy conquest now found themselves fighting an enemy they could not understand. Captain Daewin understood the fundamental strategy. This wasn't about destroying the alien civilization. It was about demonstrating humanity's capabilities. Each technological breakthrough was a message to the universe. Humans are not a species to be underestimated. The counteroffensive moved across multiple dimensions: technological attacks, psychological warfare, strategic misinformation. Humanity used every tool available, transforming the invasion into a complex, multidimensional conflict that the aliens had never experienced. Research centers became as important as military bases. Universities produced technological solutions faster than traditional weapon manufacturers. Every human became a potential warrior in this new form of warfare. By the time the aliens realized the depth of their mistake, it was too late. Humanity had not just defended itself. It had turned the invasion into an opportunity for technological evolution. Each alien system became a learning opportunity, each attack a chance to develop more advanced defensive capabilities. The universe watched as a supposedly primitive species demonstrated a level of technological adaptability that was unprecedented. Humanity had done more than survive. They had transformed a potential extinction event into a moment of species-wide growth. The counteroffensive continued, and the message was clear: do not mess with humans. The final battle lasted less than 12 hours, but its impact would echo through galactic history for centuries. Humanity's defense had transformed into something far more significant, a declaration of existence that would change how the universe viewed intelligent life. Captain Kim Daewin stood on the bridge of the first human interstellar vessel, watching as the remaining alien ships retreated. Around him, A crew of young officers from different continents worked with a precision that seemed almost supernatural. They were no longer just soldiers or scientists. They were the first representatives of humanity's galactic presence. The Proxima Collective's communication networks collapsed under a sophisticated technological assault that seemed to predict their every move. What had begun as an invasion had become a humiliating retreat. Their most advanced systems were systematically dismantled by a species they had considered primitive. Park Gina transmitted the final message. It was not a threat, but a simple, clear declaration that would be understood by every technological civilization in range. The message was elegant in its simplicity. Humans are not a conquest. Humans are a force to be recognized. Lee Hyuk's technological adaptations had turned the entire conflict into a masterclass of strategic innovation. Every alien weapon system became a learning opportunity. Every attempted attack was transformed into a demonstration of human capability. Across Earth, people watched the final moments of the conflict with a mixture of relief and pride. Universities, research centers, and military installations celebrated not just a victory, but a fundamental transformation of humanity's understanding of itself. The galactic communication networks carried a message that would be decoded and studied by countless civilizations. The surviving alien commanders transmitted warnings to their entire civilization. Approach Earth at your own risk. They are unpredictable. They are relentless. They are dangerous. Humanity had done something unprecedented. They had not just defended themselves. They had demonstrated a level of technological and strategic adaptation that challenged every existing understanding of intelligent life. The first human interstellar defense fleet began to take shape. These were not traditional military vessels, but complex adaptive platforms that could transform and respond faster than any known technological system. Each ship was a testament to human innovation, part weapon, part research platform, part diplomatic mission. Captain Daewon understood the significance of this moment. This was more than a military victory. This was humanity's introduction to the galactic community, not as a conquered species, but as a force to be respected and understood. Research centers around the world began preparing for the next phase. How would humanity engage with other civilizations? What technologies could be developed from the alien systems they had captured? The invasion had become an unprecedented opportunity for growth. The quantum communication networks that had been developed during the conflict now became humanity's most sophisticated diplomatic tool. Information could be shared, translated, and understood in ways that transcended traditional communication barriers. Young engineers and scientists saw the conflict not as an ending, but as a beginning. Each captured alien technology was a window into possibilities that had never been imagined. Universities began developing entire new fields of study based on the technological discoveries. The global human network that had developed during the conflict continued to grow. Countries that had once been rivals now worked with a synchronized purpose. The invasion had done what no diplomatic effort had ever achieved. It had truly united humanity. As the last alien ships disappeared from Earth's orbital zones, a new era began. Humanity was no longer just a planetary civilization. They were a galactic presence, a species that could adapt, learn, and transform faster than any known intelligent life. The message was clear and simple. Humans were here, and the universe would never be the same. The final declaration was not made with weapons or traditional communication. It was made through a demonstration of capability, innovation, and an unbreakable spirit of survival. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as a newcomer but as a force to be reckoned with.